In this video, we're going to talk about a very common phenomena. At least, I hope it's very common. I hope I'm not the only one dealing with this. Where you apply for a job, and whether you're truly excited about it or because you actually fit the requirements for once, you go on LinkedIn and you put either a second or 5 minutes into finding the recruiter or even the hiring manager of the role. You did it! And now you're going to deploy the ultimate cheat code. You're going to message the manager. And you think that that's going to make a difference. You think that's going to move the needle. And it doesn't. They never respond. You thought you cracked the code. You thought you did the thing that was going to get a lot of people to respond, and they didn't. Why? Because everybody's doing it. Everybody has received the advice to contact hiring managers after you've put a job application. So now hiring managers just don't respond because on their side, they're flooded with who knows how many people who thought they had the bright idea to message them after applying, or even actually going through the proper channel to apply for a job and just reached out to them themselves with their resume and cover letter in hand. It's great. We thought we were so smart. It's similarly why networking doesn't work as well. Why referrals don't work as well as they used to. I'm not going to be one of those people out there saying it never works. Clearly it's worked for people. That's how it became such common advice to begin with. But because in this age of AI and the internet, everybody is just trying to reach out to everybody, it doesn't work. If you actually have tried to network with people, even if they went to the same school as you or they worked in the same company as you at some point, even if you may have flipped burgers beside you or in spirit 10 years ago at McDonald's at the total opposite ends of the US, the issue is that because anybody working at any company that's remotely sexy, from Build-A-Bear to Google, people know these companies and they will LinkedIn's weird-ass system to figure out who is actually in their network, and they will do what they can to actually talk to these people. And again, these people too now have filled LinkedIn inboxes. You have to click follow or message, which you can't actually do unless you get LinkedIn Premium, which is not worth it, guys. It's not worth it. That's the consensus. People who've gotten it have said it doesn't actually improve their job application results, unless they're just telling us that. Usually people are honest on the internet, totally. But anyway, it just doesn't work that well anymore. And I want to say again, referrals at this point are in the same bucket, or at least you're going to have to get more referrals to be able to see any improvement in your job search odds, even through referrals. They used to be the game changers just to have one, and now even they are not guaranteed. What would you do if somebody reached out to you randomly and they may or may not have added a message? I don't know about you, but I'm not accepting friend requests that I have nothing in common with that person. If they worked at the same company as me or went to the same school as me, bet we could be friends. But if they're just some random person with nothing in common, I'm a lot less likely to actually accept their friend request. And then if you're scrolling through LinkedIn and you see a job that you can actually apply to, you use that strategy where you put job name and hiring into the search bar and you get a list of posts with people who posted a job, and then they say, oh, you can message me with your resume and a quick blurb about why you want to work here, and you actually spend a decent half an hour putting that together and putting your resume together. It take even more time for that, and you give the application over and you never hear a response. Even if you apply to a job and you see that in the LinkedIn job posting there's a person who's labeled as the hiring manager for the role, you message them. They got their email open so you can message them freely, and you put forth who you are, and it goes nowhere. And it's like they have a fetish for just ignoring you. And just like if you were to walk into a Subway and ask to apply for a job, if you message the hiring manager trying to apply that way, some of them will respond, but they'll just say, just apply online. Even if the hiring manager is willing to respond, they're only actually going to respond back to you if you're actually what they're looking for. If you just message them with a stretched resume that's not qualified at all, they're not gonna respond back to you. Plus, these hiring managers most likely just don't got time in their day to respond to you and ever using the same strategy you're trying to use. I saw this when I was job searching after college. Even back then, in 2023, it was enough of an issue that there were job posts for admin roles where the hiring manager put in the job post, do not message me directly, do not call me, do not try to email me. So this has been an oversaturated thing since at least 2023. You might have better luck if the company is actually small and they don't hire for a lot of roles, and people may pass over this. People are less motivated to go that extra step to message somebody. It might work then. It would be nice if the job search in general was more humane, because just how shitty it is right now. Apparently, one person who works at a totally remote company, they have had 20 to 25% of the people who applied out of 1,600 applicants, so 400 or 500 people trying to reach out to different people in the team to either get coffee, pitch themselves further, that kind of thing. Repeatedly reaching out to them. Sometimes people will try to connect with people from a company and somebody will just non-committally accept their connection request, and the person who connected with them will try to use their name and say, oh, they referred me, and try to be all sneaky and get in that way. They check referrals, guys. They do contact the people that you supposedly got a referral from. Plus, most big companies have official referral processes. You actually put it in the system. This person mentions in their story that people reached out multiple times. And I've seen people on TikTok suggest that you don't just follow up after you put in an application, you follow up a bunch of times. Bitch, that's fucking annoying. Sure, you can be like, oh, the worst they could do is say no. But when a bunch of people are actually taking that advice and messaging someone a bunch of times, dude, you're just making life hell for certain people. And if you are annoying enough, will be removed from consideration, in case that wasn't obvious. So y'all really gotta calm the fuck down with this stuff. Sometimes it can help to write one small message to somebody in the company, just laying out your skills and why you're a good fit. 1 to 3 sentences, nothing else. And that in some cases, can help you be recognized. If you connect with people, sometimes if you ask them after you've built a relationship with them, if you ask them to check your application, if you are working at a job and they can actually see what's going on with your application, they might do it. So as much as I never got into networking, sometimes it could do good. When people do this, they ultimately are potentially slowing down the whole hiring process because they're taking away the hiring manager's time depending how they address people who reach out to them. If you do reach out, what helps it be successful is if you use good charisma to actually, if you're not me and you can actually hold a decent conversation with a person and actually give a good opening message, that could potentially move the needle in your favor. A lot of HR people say there's a process for a reason. That's where a lot of their mentality is. Doing research about the company also helps. If you pitch yourself as being able to solve a problem that they have that you found through research and how you could potentially solve it, that could help, along with being charismatic. If you actually used to work with the person you're trying to contact, that can work, but you have to have enough of a network of real connections where that actually works. It's basically cold calling at the end of the day. And remember, it's only gonna, at best, land you an interview. You still have to be good at interviews. Some hiring managers reaching out can come off, this is the kind of tactic sales and recruiters do, not people interested in jobs. It's like getting a spam call, depending who you're talking to. Don't reach out with questions that you can just find the answer to in a job description, because people apparently do that. Also, it's not their job to figure out if you have the right visa, because apparently people ask that too. The recruiters are willing to ask questions, just ones that are in the job description or the About Us in the company website. In some industries, you need all these certifications and liability insurance that people are literally trained to look into to make sure a person has it. And if you don't have those things, even if someone interviews you, if it turns out you don't have those things, both of your time was wasted. Some industries do what's called blind recruiting, so they have processes in place where they don't see your name or those kind of potentially bias-inducing details like that. And then, so if you actually use LinkedIn to show your name and show your non-redacted resume, that is considered a faux pas. Some hiring managers, when you reach out to them, they might actually give you the name of a recruiter who you should be talking to, and the recruiter will be the one to read your resume. I don't know if that actually works, if the recruiter actually gives you priority consideration, but again, your resume does have to actually be a fit so you get an interview just like the old way. I actually applied to Discord one time and I messaged a recruiter, but they said, that sounds like blank's role. I messaged them and I messaged the other person and they never responded. To many managers, it just feels like really selfish. You're really just breaking the rules, potentially, depending who you ask, invading their privacy. You are doing that because they usually don't give you their emails. And you're doing all that just so you can literally shove your resume in their face. Not a great look, I will agree. It won't always make your chances worse if you reach out to hiring managers this way, but for many, it won't exactly improve your chances. Alright, I tried a slightly different form of actually recording this, so we'll see how it actually turns out. This ended up being way longer just because I ended up finding a huge stack of advice and inputs on this topic, but it is a piece of advice that's super commonly given to people, so I just decided last minute to create a longer video that hopefully puts different perspectives in one place. If reaching out to a recruiter actually makes sense for the jobs you're applying to. So take this video, take it with a grain of salt, because nothing in the job application world is set in stone, because everyone involved is a human being with different opinions. That's pretty much what's been really hammered in this job search for me. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to hear more of my dorky voice, last week I did do a whole hour of reacting to TikTok job advice, and some of it's good, some of it's a dud. So check that out if you want to hear more less traditional job advice. Thank you so much for watching. Thumb up, comment down below if you've ever reached out to a recruiter, if that was ever successful, anything else you think, anything else you want to see on this channel. You can subscribe. Also, hi.